What is up, my fellow Token Nerds and fellow Scouter Nerds? And by the way, happy holidays. Today is episode 5. Okay, not today. Yesterday was episode 15 of Kamen Rider Zeztz. And it kind of feels like an end of an arc, to be honest. And I thought it definitely set up for the next arc pretty well. So, let's get to it. So, this episode kind of starts where we left off last time, slightly. In this episode, there was definitely a lot more setting up. Like, we're in the dream of Nox this time around. And apparently, he was dealing with his own nightmare, which we kind of saw from last week. But because of that nightmare, he was in this endless nightmare sleep. Which is very interesting. Because we saw it in a flashback of Nox. Kind of. Where he was an agent at the time. But something must have gone wrong and he couldn't access his Nox invoker. Which, yes, in the flashback, he was actually Nox Knight. Nox Knight wasn't new. It was something pre-established already. So, there's that. So, my question for this is, one, if he had the Knight Invoker back then, why was the episode with all the paintings had to deal with getting the belt back? Because in the mission of recovered the national secret, that episode, or that episode series, yeah, you get the idea. We went through this whole spiel of getting trying to get the paintings back, but protect the national secret, which was the Nox Invoker belt that Nox previously had. So that implies that he got his belt taken away and then was kept in a safe that apparently Nox knew. That's a little confusing. If someone can explain that a little better, please do, because I feel like I'm a little confused on that front, but that's just what I'm going with. So, with that, also Baku, in this episode, got all his capsules back that were erased. Which means that there is more of the capsules. So that would mean that if something would happen to Capsum, Baku could just regain that one. So, we're back to the concept of the Capsums again. Because we know these are nightmares that Baku is controlling, in a sense. But then, okay, the nightmares are getting more confusing as the episodes go on. Because we got the regular nightmares that happens in everyone's dreams, but then we also got the Capsum nightmares, which that is interesting, and I hope they'll explain it in the next arc. Also, we also got the debut of the Boost Capsum. Now, okay, I'm going a little here and there again, but stay with me here. The Boost Capsum is pretty cool, but I'm curious to know if it'll affect any other, Zeztz forms. Like, will it affect the Impact Capsum or something else? Or is it just made for Inazuma Plasma? I assume it's just for Inazuma Plasma, but not entirely sure. Because the gold, mouthpiece that appears on the suit. I'll get to the form in just a minute. It's definitely added on. So does that mean that it can be switched between the forms? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. And then I'm trying to remember every single bits of this episode as best as I can. But I'm still missing a few details here and there. So Zero does explain that Nox was former agent number 4. But somehow, back to the flashback of Nox, when Odaka was trying to call for backup, we heard Zero's voice saying, "No backup, you're on your own." Yeah, there's something going on in codes. I don't know. This brings up the conversation of, is Zero the bad guy? To that I say, I don't know. Like Zero said, the agents are kind of in this gray area. Which, I don't know. There's more people behind the scenes, we know that. But we just don't know what else is beyond that. We did get introduced to someone new, though. The lady. At the end of this episode. Now, I have no idea who she is or where she came from. For all I know is that she knows about Nox. They communicated in a dream before. She's in the real world. But at the same time, she wants to get rid of codes, making it feel like she's the bad guy that Nox is helping. Still confused about Nox because he hates nightmares. But he's working with nightmares. Care to explain that, people? Care to explain that? No? Okay, moving on. The next thing I have is, well, yes, Nox does get awoken from his endless nightmare, which is a good thing. It's a good thing. But now I'm curious to know what happens next. Because when Fujimi and Nagamo find him, he literally put a gun to Fujimi's back and left the room and erased the handle so Fujimi and Nagamo can't escape. Honestly, those two are going to get out of the window, but moving on. But I'm curious to know why. I need to know more motivations to Nox, because right now his motivation is that he feels betrayed by codes, that he was disposable, and then now he's working with the nightmare, the one thing that he was against. Very interesting, to say the least. Also, can anyone tell me if there were any more mind doors for Nox, or was just the one that was open that was keeping him in this dream world? So, you guys let me know on that one. I think overall this episode was real good. I like that Baku got all the capstones back and was able to use most of them. And I think it definitely sets up what is going to happen very well, especially with the lady, the secrets of code, where we go from there. Also, we still don't know where the boost capstone came from. Zero said something like, something with zeroiders? Something with zeroiders. we have never heard that word before, but yet we're supposed to know what that is. Are they going to touch upon that? I don't know. There's a lot of I don't knows, but I'm looking forward to what's going to happen next. So, without all the way, let's talk about the boost. The form itself is very simple, but effective. For some reason, this kind of gives me... Okay, one YouTuber actually mentions it reminds him of Thundergale from Kamen Rider Zeztz, which I do see. But to me, it also gives off Boost Mark II vibes. No, not because of the Boost name. If you think that, slap yourself in the head on that one. Okay, don't actually, no. I just kind of thought of it like... never mind. The Boost form itself is really cool. It's kind of like, it kind of is like... It's kind of like an armor form of the Flash. If that makes sense. It definitely enhances the speed, for sure. Like, god damn, the finisher was... That's probably like the fastest I've ever seen a tokusatsu speed go. That would honestly beat Kabuto in that line. Maybe. I don't know. I've seen videos of Kabuto, and I know that he can travel back in time. But dang, was he able to move that fast like Inazuma Boost? But even so, goddamn, that was fast. Especially with that like glitch effect that happened when the finisher was going on. That was so cool. I'm a fan of speed, and goddamn, this so good. It was so good. But yeah, Nightmare Sophia knocks awake, and we got introduced to the lady. What do you guys think about this episode? You guys let me know in the comments down below. And until next time, which is probably gonna be on January 4th, because that's the next episode for Zeztz. So it's gonna be a while before I make the next video, but you guys probably will see me in the upcoming Tokudet video with Zero Agito. That was new. That's new. Well, either way, happy holidays. Take care.